In level 3, we will be using several angle properties to find unknown angle measures. So more complicated diagrams with more steps. In question number 5, we have sort of a complicated diagram with a lot of angles. And we're going to go step by step to find each angle. So they tell us that lines L and M are parallel. So I'm going to put little arrows on lines L and M. This gives us some angle pairs like we saw back in level 1, but they're a little harder to see in this complicated diagram. So, for example, one thing you're going to look for is sort of a Z shape. If these are two parallel lines, and each line that crosses those two parallel lines is a transversal, we get sort of a Z shape. If we look for that Z, here's the Z, and the corners of the Z are alternate interior angles, so they are congruent angles. So the measure of angle B is going to be 75 degrees. Okay, now I can use some other angle properties to get some other angles. If I want the measure of angle A, I have 3 angles inside of this triangle that have to add up to 180. So if I add 60 and 75, I get 135. And then I can do 180 minus 135, and I get 45. So the measure of angle A would have to be 45 degrees. Okay, moving on. If I look at angle B, C, and this 45-degree angle, all 3 of those angles combined make a straight line, so they would have to all 3 add up to 180. So if I add 75 and 45 and subtract from 180, I can get the measure of angle C. So 75 and 45 add up to 120. And then I can subtract 180 minus 120, and we get 60 for this angle right here. So angle C is 60 degrees. To find the measure of angle D, we can use alternate interior angles again. If you see that Z shape with the 2 parallel lines and the transversal, these 2 inside corners of the Z are alternate interior angles, and they're the same. So angle D is 45 degrees. Now, to find the measure of angle E, it makes a straight line with a 95-degree angle, so I can do 180 minus 95, and we get 85. So angle E is 85 degrees. Then to find our last angle, angle F, we can use this triangle. If we know 2 of the angles, we can find the third by adding the 2 we know and subtracting 180. So if I add 85 and 45 together, we get 130. And then 180 minus 130 gives us 50 for angle F. In the next example, we have a triangle ABC. They tell us that the measure of angle A is 30. Angle ACB, which is this angle right here, is a right angle, so that's a 90-degree angle. D is on AB, so this is a point on that line. DC bisects angle ACB. So this line is cutting angle ACB in half. That's what bisect means. It means it divides it into 2 congruent angles. if angle ACB is a 90-degree angle and this line is cutting it, or this segment is cutting it in half, it would divide it into two 45-degree angles. If I do 90 divided by 2, I get 45 and 45. And we want to find the measure of angle CDB. CDB is where we have this question mark. Okay. So we use some of our angle properties. I already figured out that we have a 45-degree angle right here. If I look at the triangle formed right here, triangle ADC, all the angles need to add up to 180. So if I do 30 plus 45, we get 75, and then 180 minus 75 gives us 105 for this angle right here. And now to find my missing angle that I need, it makes a straight line with that 105-degree angle, so I can just do 180 minus 105, and we get 75 for the missing angle.